No, I hear you. Let's go to Ed. Let's go to Ed in Hawaii. Ed, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
Alex?
Yeah.
Alex, yes. First-time caller. I've been investing in silver for probably 8 years, reading on the subject for many years. One of the things I'd say to the last caller is, and I've had this idea before about the silver, too, taking down these power mongers. Go start buying 190% silver dime or 190% silver quarter. Those are like $2 to $5. And it's nothing. There's nothing like starting to buy a real silver. It's a great thing to do. On the Hunt brothers, one of the things I read about him is that he was a true believer the dollar was going to crash. I think to a certain extent he saw himself as a battling the Federal Reserve, just like.
No, that's what the Hunts. That's what the Hunts said. We're almost out of time. Do you have a question for our guest?
Well, I just say, actually, just take J.P. Morgan down. I totally agree. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Julio in Illinois, go ahead.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. Max, I appreciate what you're doing. 2 quick questions. First off, how important do you feel, you just mentioned earlier about, it's a constitution-based currency, gold and silver, like our founding fathers state. How important is it to tell people who are in our wake about Executive Order 11110 from 63? Coincidentally enough, 5 months later, Kennedy was
That's right.
murdered.
Kennedy didn't just start getting us out of Vietnam or have the real civil rights movement. He started the movement to abolish the Federal Reserve and have the U.S. government issue its own currency, not the private Federal Reserve, and they blew his head off. Comments on that, Max Keiser?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good part of the history of it. That executive order was going to abolish the Fed, and the rest is history. So, yeah, that's how powerful this is. But you see, it's not about one man with one executive order. It's about 100 million people around the world, each buying one silver ounce.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, Max. You got a lot of nerve because being at the head of pushing this. Let me tell you, if you are successful, this mafia, I'd imagine, is going to send a hit team over to your house, and I'm serious.
No, well, I can. As I said before, I'm converting people en masse, and for every person that's upset at this, there are 10 people that are kissing my cheek and thanking me. So I am putting the proverbial flowers into the muzzle of the gun on the front line, and I'm turning the criminals into silver-loving, free market, real constitutionalists. That's one of the.
No, I understand, Max. You're a true revolutionary. We're all here together, hurtling into the future. This is very exciting. Thank you so much, Julio. Tim in Michigan, you're on the air worldwide.
Alex.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good.
This is your search term, Tim, from Michigan. If you remember...
The guy that called 6-8 months ago or however long ago it was with the idea for search terms, yes.
Yes, sir, that's me. Listen, Alex, I'm on disability, and I have 13 ounces of silver. I have a $5 silver certificate that I purchased in remembrance of Mr. Kennedy. And I also have 3 British sovereigns, and I'm on disability getting roughly $1,000 a month. So if these people try to say that they can't afford to do this, it's because they have their priorities in the wrong place, and this is very possible because I also have a dollar certificate, silver certificate. I understand they're not retainable anymore. However, these were done in more of remembrance for JFK, and my condolences for him. And I do 1963 $5 silver certificate, which was purchased just for that reason.
Yes.
I also have a Lone Star nickel, which is a 2-ounce silver round, and I have another 11 different rounds that I had purchased.
Beautiful. Do you have a question for Max Keiser?
Yes, I do. My question to Max is also I want to tell you that I'm very inspired by his initiative to set this off. And my question is this, that, Max, that if somebody like me on such a limited income can afford to have 3/4 of an ounce of gold and 13 ounces of silver, why won't other people...
All right, I understand your question. We're almost out of time. It's because they don't believe they can win, or they don't understand that silver and gold isn't going up. The currency is being devalued. Max, your comment on that?
My comment is that I agree with you. People don't think that they can win anymore. They've been beaten down. But the beautiful thing about this campaign is that once people put a silver coin in their hand, a little bell goes off on their head, and they go, and they realize, my God, this is money. This is what the economy should have been based on. This is what it says in the Constitution.
This isn't some dirty piece of paper. This is real. This is heavy. Boy, they like silver in their hand. They ought to try gold.
It's psychological alchemy. You turn your defeatism into an attitude of winning because you realize, my God, I'm part of a movement that's going to transform this fiat money fractional reserve.
Let's jam in some more, Max.
An honest economy that's democratic.
Let's talk to Mark in North Carolina. Mark, you're on the air.
Thank you, Alex. Hey, Max. Hey, Alex. In an effort to be brief, I'll ask my question and take my answer offline. This may be of interest to the fellow that just called. If someone is disabled, say they've worked 27 years in the same job and they're disabled and they're collecting disability and they're on Medicare, if they've got their 401k or their IRA and they wish to convert to silver, is there a way that they could do so without being penalized, not so much in the taxes, we know how that goes, but with regard to not losing your eligibility for Medicare if they wanted to convert?
Yeah, let me ask Ted Anderson's coming up in a few minutes briefly, and he's an expert on that. We'll leave that question for him specifically because that's a good point. If you start making profits, then they can take away your Medicare, Medicaid, your Social Security in some cases if they claim you're working. But I think if you don't publicly cash it in and quietly sell it, they won't know. That's why they're trying to clamp down. They're already doing this in Europe and Australia on going down to the coin shop and selling a coin or two here and there that you bought at $5 now that it's $29 and making a nice profit for yourself. Let's talk to Nancy in California, probably the last caller for Max Keiser here. Nancy, you're on the air with Max Keiser. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex and Max. I have a question. If J.P. Morgan goes down, would that trigger a bailout, another bailout? And if so, what would be the bottom line and ramifications?
Well, that would devalue currency more and gold and silver would go up even more. Max Keiser.
That's right. They're being bailed out anyway. The bailouts are continuing.
Yeah, these aren't even bailouts. These are them taking over countries and robbing everything. They're not going to stop. They hate us.
Yeah, the value of paper money is continuing to collapse. So another benefit is that you're going to have actual money in your pocket, and the purchasing power will continue to go up. It's a win-win-win situation.
But Nancy, let me explain this. I'm sure some bad things could happen too, but if a big bully starts punching me, I'm going to attack back. Doesn't mean I might not get my teeth knocked out, but I'm going to attack. And so the message to the globalist is, we're done laying here and taking it. You started a fight. You want one. Now you're going to get it. Max, do you agree with that?
Yeah, you can't appease terrorists. And simply by saying, well, if it collapses, then they might come after me and abuse me some more, that's not a good enough answer. At some point, we got to stand up and say, we want real money. We want a democracy. We want to get rid of financial terrorists. J.P. Morgan is the worst of the lot. Let's take it down and see where we go from there.
Okay, Nancy, does that answer your question?
Well, I'm just wondering if they bailed out J.P. Morgan, they wouldn't be going down.
Yeah, but they would bail out with paper. That's the only thing they have to bail them out with. That means that the purchasing power of their silver goes up.
Nancy, if you expose the fiat currency with gold and silver, there's a war going on between real money and fiat. The globalists get their power from fiat. You take away their power, it's over for them. We blew up their carbon tax stuff last year. We're blowing... Well, listen.
Remember last year on this show, Alex, due to our conversations, we shut down the Cantor Exchange. Remember Cantor Fitzgerald was going to do box office features? They shut it down based on what we were saying on this show.
Nancy, I appreciate your call. All I know is resistance is victory, and a fight's always messy, and that's the end of it.